What is going on, everybody? My name is Nate. Today I would like to discuss and speculate upon the size of the Elder Scrolls 6's map, and just how large or small we should expect it to be. Now, if you just thought in your head, oh, haha, that's what she said, there are going to be a lot of these throughout this video, so please keep yourself together. Anyway, I think that Fallout 4 left a lot to be desired in terms of map size in the playable area, and that hopefully we can count on the Elder Scrolls 6 to address that. Looking back on Fallout 4, the playable map, not including the ocean, spanned about 9.9 square kilometers, and Skyrim was actually significantly bigger at 14.8 square kilometers. So right off the bat, we see a pretty obvious disparity between Fallout 4 and the game that came 4 years before it, by about 30% or 1/3, which is quite a lot. Generally, I think the expectation is for developers of open world titles to be expanding upon the playable area, if anything. Now, I understand that it's the gameplay and the depth of the area that counts, but I find that hard to excuse a 30% decrease in size. If we want to go even further back in time, though, it's worth mentioning that Fallout 3 only had a 5.5 square kilometer map, so while Fallout 4 may not boast the smallest maps in terms of size, it certainly is not the largest either. So what does this all tell us? Well, it essentially means that we don't really have a trend or pattern that we can go off of to try and estimate whether or not the Elder Scrolls 6 will be expanding upon the playable area or the opposite of that. I would like to imagine that with the current gen console's potential kind of fully being realized only recently, Bethesda would be a bit more inclined to push more boundaries, yet at the same time, Fallout 4 was their first game on the current gen systems, and they had a huge opportunity there, and it seems like they didn't take that, so what gives? Well, to be fair, Fallout 4 had a very condensed map compared to what we were used to. If you'll recall, much of Skyrim was difficult to scale mountains or simply large, vast forests that occasionally had a fort or some activity hidden within them, but were largely uneventful and boring to traverse, whereas Fallout 4 didn't rely on so much fluff in its map. Its 9.9 square kilometers of land were packed to the point where it was difficult not to find something if you just walked in one direction for more than a minute and a half. And the city of Boston itself was remarkably impressive in terms of just how large the urban area was. And if you played on consoles, chances are you'll also remember the terrible lag due to this game just rendering in so much. Skyrim didn't seem to have as much content per square kilometer, if you will, so to speak. You can go in one direction for 5, 6, 7 minutes and really not hit anything but a few mountains that you're forced to circumnavigate. So looking back on it, I'm not entirely sure that Fallout 4 actually had less locations or content within its map than Skyrim. Sure, they both had barren deserts and forests for certain stretches at any given point, but Skyrim definitely had a lot more. So, well, as I said, there's about a 30% disparity in the map sizes between the games. I wouldn't go so far as to say that the overall quality of either map is reflected by that 30% difference. Yes, Skyrim was bigger, but not inherently better, or at least not definitively. Personally, in my own opinion, I really did like Skyrim's map, and I think I did like it better than Fallout 4's, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it's 30% better by any means. What this all indicates for the Elder Scrolls 6 is that we may be getting a smaller map than what we are all expecting, but that does not necessarily dictate whether or not it will be a better one. However, I still don't think we should put it past Bethesda to try and tease the limitations of their team and the hardware available to them to design a larger map. Despite the argument I just made regarding quality, I think Bethesda's team certainly has been scrutinized over the decision to keep Fallout 4 so small, and perhaps the studio may feel inclined to prove a point here. Especially if the Elder Scrolls 6 gets a new game engine, which, if anything, would only make the job of building a larger map less difficult thanks to likely increased rendering capacities. So how large will the Elder Scrolls 6's map be? Well, literally nobody knows. There's been a lot of speculation suggesting the map will be the largest we've ever seen, but as history will indicate, Bethesda has actually scaled down on map size since Skyrim. I still think it's definitely a possibility. Bethesda might build something even bigger than Skyrim, being their largest map ever, but I still don't think we should have any major expectations. Maybe it'll be a couple square kilometers larger than Skyrim, if even that. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap the video up right here. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a comment down below how you think Bethesda will go about developing the Elder Scrolls 6's map. And if you made it this far without thinking about a dick joke, just know that I appreciate you. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. Like if you liked, dislike if you disliked, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out, everybody.